Howdy, folks. I am Charles Deering, and yesterday's live feed, although it was called a hangout, we worked on a traditional Hulk design, and today we'll be working on this classic design. I say classic for my generation. This was the TV version with Lou Ferrigno, and I can't remember his real name, but yeah, there's that. I'm just going to get going. I've already started it. I just decided maybe we'll make a live stream out of it just for folks to have something to watch. It's debatable if I'll do it past Super Bowl time, although I'm not into those teams. Depends on how much viewership we have. Hello, Josh Grover, watching over on YouTube. Again, I've already started it, but I can tell you all right now the chaotic part we're going to deal with, although as a photograph it looks awesome, fading into the next, this area right here could be really chaotic in a scroll saw pattern. Now, I'll draw it all, but as far as the scroll saw pattern goes, I may at some point edit out the hair here because I don't know if it would translate well, but I am going to try to do it as it's shown, but parts of it could look pretty chaotic where it's crossing over, fading. But if we're trying to stay true to the photograph, we want to add it all. Hello, David Joanne Arrington. Appreciate you watching over on Facebook. Again, I already started. I just decided to make a live stream out of it in case somebody was bored. So there's that. I'm just going to get back going into it. I've already done 99% of this. This is an example of a dark shadow inside of a light shadow. I may decide to add that later, but it doesn't show up very well. And anywhere that there's very light stuff showing, you got to kind of gamble whether or not to add it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'll just, some people think the Super Bowl isn't worth watching, but I'm pretty sure the viewership will drop off after that, but we don't know. But we'll see. It's not about how many viewers are watching in real time. It's just activity. So I'm just going to be jumping around. There won't be a whole lot of teaching unless there's questions. Otherwise, I'll just verbalize what I'm doing or just sit here and trace it. But appreciate everybody taking the time to watch. Mimi Lord says, I'm going to watch the commercials. Yeah. That's usually the best part, depending on which teams are playing. I'm a little curious about the game, but I'm not jumping through my skin to go watch it. Josh Grover says, could you make it look like a flash there in the middle with the hair? I'm not sure what you mean by a flash. I know what you mean by the hair here in the middle, but I don't know what you mean by a flash. I think this is an example of one of those pictures that's kind of screaming to be a scroll saw pattern. Of course, that happens a lot with me. And we have we have shadow over here, but you also see some light here, so I'm going to separate it just to, or at least suggest that line there. But again, we can't shade with a scroll saw pattern. It's either cut out or it's not, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. Appreciate you being here, David Dwayne, Arrington, Josh Grover, and Mimi Lord. And if there's anything you don't see me trace, it's because I've already traced it up to about here. So I'm just going to jump in and start doing some of the detail here. And again, it may not look good as a scroll saw pattern where this fade out is happening. To make it look like a blast of something instead of attempting the hair. I'm going to attempt the hair just to stay true to the photograph, but I may end up, as far as the scroll saw pattern goes, I may end up leaving out all of this area that's red here. I'll trace it, but I may end up editing that out in the final pattern because I don't think it'll translate well. I know what you're saying about the flash, but I feel like it might look better just being blank in there if we don't go with the hair. Because I really think, although seeing the photograph, we know what it is. We know it's the back of the hair of this last version of the Hulk. But some things just don't look good as a scroll saw pattern. So it'll be an experiment. Or per the usual, we might end up with two versions of the same pattern. I don't know. Y'all find out pretty much the same time I do. And today we broke the 1,800 mark on how many products are available at woodenvisions.com. Yeah, I just really not sure that's going to translate well. That hair there. I could probably get away with adding this here, but I think down here it's going to look way too chaotic. But we're going to trace it just to say we did. We'll have both options, but I'll trace it in a way that I know. Whoops. I'll trace it in a way that I know that I can just clip a few lines and erase it. But right now I'm going to trace the edge of that hair in case we go with the original. And I can't always do this without my hand getting in the way, so I apologize for that. And I'll make little marks on this scroll saw pattern, or as we're tracing it, I'll make little marks to let myself know where to cut it off if we decide not to go with this hair that we're tracing right now. Hopefully just one version, Josh. I did a little bit of work on the nose on yesterday's pattern, and then I uploaded them both to woodenvisions.com because there was something missing in the shading. Looked kind of like a pig nose, but hopefully that's been fixed. But I guess for the sake of curiosity, if people don't want to go to woodenvisions.com, I can go drag them here. Yeah, if I can find where I put it. I did a version with a border and one without. So that was yesterday's live stream. And this is what we're working on right now. And here we go. Again, because I've done so many pattern live streams, I'm not going to do a whole lot of teaching. But that being said, I do not mind answering questions if anybody has any. Just otherwise, I'll sound like a broken record to the usual viewers. But I do not mind answering questions. I'm just going to do less teaching necessarily, which I don't know how much teaching I do on these pattern live streams anyway. Thank you, Josh. Now, he's wearing a sweater in here, but the lines you see from the sweater are from this one version of David Bixby, I believe was his character name. But it's also the shadow of this last one doing the shoulder. So I'm just going to suggest some of the ribs of that sweater in this area here. But I'm not going to do too ape crap, at least not right in here. It'll make the transition easier. You can barely see some of those lines, but I'll add them in. Probably make them a little thicker for stability. And they'll be attached to the border around the pattern. The ones here on the bottom anyway. And I'm intentionally making the spaces we're keeping in this sweater, I'm intentionally making them a little bit wider so that they'll won't be quite as brittle. But luckily he's not wearing a plaid shirt. That's even harder. Josh Grover says, you do more teaching than you really think. You give a lot of helpful tips, suggestions. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know what's considered what's considered teaching and what's considered valuable information. But I try to verbalize everything, and hopefully that helps some people. Hello, Herb Hooper. Says hello, everyone. Hope you are all having a great Sunday. Whew, so far, so good. Mimi Lord says, hey, my daughter's moving back to Texas in about 3 or 4 months, so I might get to finally meet you. Woo, yay. Whereabouts in Texas is she moving? If you want to say publicly. Yeah, I had a good Sunday overnight. I finally slept 8 hours. It's been a while, but I had a Charlie horse, and I know my name is Charles, haha, but man, that is the worst Charlie horse I've ever had in my life. It was on my right calf, and man, I was close to tears. It hurt so bad. Ooh, man. And when they just come one right after the other, oh lordy, that's a pain in the leg, honestly. But man, that was hard. But I finally got a good 8 hours sleep in, so I'm all rested, and here we are. Been a while since I slept a full 8 hours. Usually I'll wake up and then I'll want to get going on something and get out of bed, but I made myself stay in bed, and here we are. McGregor, that's maybe 15-20 minutes away from where I live. My wife passes McGregor on her way to Waco to go to work. That's awesome. That's cool. So Mimi's finally going to get to meet me, and I finally get to meet her, and then after meeting me, she may never watch again. That's funny right there. Or Hewitt, yeah, it's about a tiny bit further away, but not bad at all. Okay, I'm making a mark right here to tell myself where his brow goes into here, so that if I just choose to leave out the hair portion, I'm putting an arrow right here, and the other one would be here, obviously, but I'll have to also make a mark on the next half, because I have a feeling just by looking at it, if you imagined all that red to be lit up, as far as what we're keeping in the pattern, I can just picture that looking really crappy. But I'm keeping all this over here because I think it's a good enough transition. Longest live stream record tonight. I don't know about that, because this one won't take 11 hours. My live stream record is 11 hours, so I'm not sure how this one will actually go pretty quick. The hair is the only thing that's going to take a little bit. In my opinion, I say pretty quick, but you heard me. We thought that Clint Eastwood was going to go pretty quick, and it didn't. That one took 4 hours. And again, this is an area where I could have traced the bulk of the shadow, but I went with the corner of the mouth. And I guess that being said, I should sort of suggest the edge of that. So I have that option when I'm working on a scroll saw pattern. You'll notice I didn't connect it to anything. I did that to tell myself that's an option if I don't like the shape of just the mouth. And this is the kind of crap we deal with. Mimi Lord says, I'll always watch no matter what. You're fun to watch, and I do learn. Well, that's cool. Thank you, ma'am. And there's a whole lot of light shadows in here. So, I mean, it really is a lot of picking and choosing. It really is up to you. Like here, we have more shadow than I actually traced, but, I think we'll be okay. So that's going to happen a lot, especially on this middle one. On the rest of these, I think we can get away with tracing what we see. I don't know what I was going to say there. Looking at this one, I think I'm okay with all the shadows. But a perfect example, you see very light eyebrow here. It was very light over here too, and I went ahead and just traced it. I didn't make it completely colored in because it was after this part here, it was pretty darn light over here. But I wanted it to look like an eyebrow. So, Josh Grover saying, are you out of blades again, or just been giving your saw a break? Yeah, I'm just giving my saw a break. Well, for a while there, I hadn't been putting patterns out, and one of the best ways to motivate me to get patterns out is to do a live stream of me making the patterns, and that's part of it. I won't say I'm burned out. It's just I know those take longer than these. But yeah. yeah, I'll eventually get back to cutting. A lot of people want to see the Rooster Cogburn on the horse, but we never finished the Steve Good welcome sign. But uh, I think people might prefer to see the Rooster Cogburn on the horse. I don't know. I mean, I know that's what was voted in, but we voted on it while we were working on the other one. So it depends on what people want to see as to where we'll go. Josh Grover says, understand. It also helps us see what goes into patterns. Yes, sir. Yeah. Y'all might have thought it all went smooth and everything. And if you've watched any of these pattern live streams, it doesn't always go smoothly. Maybe that's why I quit making designs for a while, because it can be pretty dang stressful trying to make it. But yeah, I knew the second I started this one that this could potentially cause a problem. As far as, I mean, in the photograph, we know what it means, but not everybody sees the original photograph you're working from. But I think even without this red hair area, I think it'll still be a very good transition. But we can add this line here and this one, and just enough where the eyeball is that's attached to hair. We could probably stop it right about here, which is why I put the arrow there. And I'm not being real careful here on the sweater. I'm just making sure that the areas that we're keeping are somewhat thick enough to not scare people as much. But we also have the shoulder of this one coming through, and this one. Now, when I post on Facebook, I can always put the picture I worked from next to it if something like that were to be kept in it and looks funny as a scroll saw pattern. But on the website, I just post the patterns, not the picture I worked from. And I just realized I was starting to go off camera there. Now there's not really much of a line going here, but for stability, I'm going to add it because I can see some of the color in there. As far as that Australian charity pattern, we've sold 3 of those, so we have 3 or $21 going towards charity so far. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to woodenvision.com, type in the search bar, just put in charity or Australia, and it should lead you right to it. I'm inventing a line here for stability. Now, where the shadow transitions into the other one, it could look kind of funny, so I'm going to ignore this little triangle here of shadow. I say that, but dang it. I don't know. We'll just see as I get there. And I'm not being real careful because the sweater is not the highlight. I mean, when I say I'm not being careful, I'm not making it a point to stay right on every line in there. I'm just suggesting the ribs in the sweater. I mean, you want to pay attention to their direction for the sake of being true to the photograph, but and being able to tell it's a sweater. But I'm not being real strict with myself on staying right on lines. Some of them intersect a little bit right here, so it's going to be a little bit of an X. A little bit. And they're less and less clear the further I go back, so I'm just tracing what I see. Hello, Miss Tracy Keaton. Appreciate you joining. Again, I apologize if my hand ever covers up where I'm drawing. It's hard to make room for the camera sometimes when I'm tracing. Hello, Lawrence. Lawrence, I got your message on Facebook. I have to look at it and think about it more to give you an accurate answer. That's why I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't responded yet because I don't know what all. The only area I saw so far that needs a little work is the eyes. They look a little bright. It looked like you made the whites of the eyes cut out, and you want to suggest the shape of the whites of the eyes, but you don't want to cut them out because they're light colored. But I won't get into more detail because I'm not looking at it right this second, and I don't want to mislead you. It's also very hard to critique somebody else's work because I'm not there with a pen, so it's actually harder than you would think for me to tell people what they could do differently. But what I've already mentioned is the only thing that really drew my attention so far. It's easier for me to do things than to teach others how to do it. And I'm not unwilling, I just don't know how good I am at helping with suggestions. But I think it's awesome that you're working on your own scroll saw patterns. That's a good thing. If I can inspire at least one person, then we're doing good. For me, that's the perfect way to not be getting sales, is if people are making their own patterns, and that's a good reason to not be getting sales. And we're going to take a drink because we can. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. We're actually almost done with this app. I did already have the face done when I started because wasn't going to do a live stream at first. But then I decided, why the heck not? They're fun to do. See, I'm not used to having to, even though I've done a few live streams with patterns, I'm not used to having to avoid covering up for the sake of the camera. So I hope people can tolerate that. Now, I think for the sake of translating well, I'm not going to add that little jutting out part of the nose shadow because I think it would look funny in a scroll saw pattern. So I'm going to extend this one. I hate that I'm covering up the pattern, dang it. Let me try to do it this way. Turn the camera a little bit at an angle. And hopefully that will allow y'all to see what I'm tracing. We'll see. Yeah, a little better. I figured if I'm going to show it, you should be able to see it, but Lauren says, okay, great, thanks. That still helps, Charles. I will wait until you can look at it a little better, and I had trouble with the eyes myself. Good thing that was practice. Yeah. It takes a while to dial it in sometimes. I 100% get that. I got too much. Well, as long as we got the pattern showing, I guess we're good. I was going to adjust the camera because so much of the monitor is showing, but this is where I see y'all. Y'all are technically over there. I really think this could end up, and I was about to say I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think I spend so much time dogging myself. It's probably okay to start tooting my own horn. I think this is going to end up being a cool scroll saw pattern. Yeah, if I could freely dog myself, I should start complimenting myself more. And that's more of a message to myself than anybody else. Because I have a bad habit of dogging myself. Now, obviously, one eye is in the shadow and one is. I don't know why my camera's shaking. I can point straight. It's me trying to point at things and still be in camera view is the problem. But I'm not like Russ. I can point directly at a camera. See. But yeah, one eye is in the dark and one is in the light, so it's that's the case with that one. So this is not a typical scroll saw pattern in how you do the eyes. But usually when I'm pointing at things, I don't have a camera above me. It's usually in front of me, and everything's pretty accurate. This is an example of where we have the edge of the ear of this image. Why is my camera shaking? It's hanging from the ceiling. It shouldn't be shaking unless we're having an earthquake, but that doesn't feel like it. Lawrence Alders is doing a David Bixby, says, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I still like that show too. And we have the ear here, right here. And we have a shadow behind it and shadow in front of it. So I think we'll be safe adding that in. Again, it's not as dark as it's going to turn out on a scroll saw pattern, but we can't shade on a scroll saw pattern. And I know I'm jumping around. I started on the base and just jumped up to here because I saw it. And we're going to go back to here. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. And I said this on yesterday's live stream. I've never used the word angry in my life. In my life, if I could talk. I usually say pissed or mad. Yeah, West Meadows. Yeah. I don't know what it is with me not being able to get those straight. Now I want to suggest the. Let me get this out of the way. I don't want to crimp it. I want to suggest the bottom eyelid here. So I'm just going to draw a line partway across. It'll probably work as far as the eyebrow goes. I I'm still somewhat covering it up, but I think y'all understand. I think the picture's clear on over where y'all are watching. Y'all let me know. Now, this area of the lip had a good shadow there. Now there's a shadow on this one, but it may not translate well. It may suggest the shape of it, but if I tried to trace it completely, it could look really dark and like a weird Hitler mustache. So I'm just going to suggest the shape of that. Yeah, maybe a little wide, but that's all right. Another example of a dark shadow within light shadows, so we'll trace both just in case. But I'm not connecting them. That lets me know where I can cut off. Not real clear lines on the other half of the mouth here, but we'll try to work with it. Well, to my knowledge, Aussie man, he's not gay, but he is deaf. We're referring to Lou Ferrigno. I know he's deaf, but I don't think he's gay. I don't know. I've never really researched it, but I heard he was deaf, but I've never heard that he was gay. You'll notice I left out some of the shadow in here. I just, I don't think it matters that much. I could add a little more, I guess, as far as texture of his skin. Now, I've never heard that Lou Ferrigno is gay. That's just me. I mean, it doesn't technically matter, but yeah, I've never heard that. Oh, Bill Bixby was. I didn't know that either. I knew he was married. Of course, that doesn't stop some people. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Lou Ferrigno was. Lou Ferrigno is the guy that played the actual Hulk, which is this guy here. He was deaf. Not a lot of people know that. Well, that I'm aware of. Of course, people of our generation probably don't have a clue who either one of these people are. I mean, people of our generation do know it. People these days wouldn't know who these people are unless they keep up with it. And Bill and others are talking about the fires in Australia. It's a good reminder. There is a There's also a pattern out there of a firefighter holding a koala. If anybody wants to help the charities, that all proceeds of that pattern sale being sold will go to Australian charities. We've sold 3 so far. So that's $21 going. I think I'm going to ignore this triangle shadow. I'm just going to continue the sweater lines down to here. I don't know if that'll look right. And I think we'll be okay because it is just a sweater. You know what? It also shows his jawline, so I am going to see, that's me being decisive. So I am going to include that line because it shows his jawline from the far left picture. Some of this I really can't even see, but I know what I'm working with, so that helps. Because at first I didn't understand the shape of this, but then I figured out it's his jaw going through there, so that's what we're dealing with. Yeah, Lawrence brings up a good point, says people nowadays wouldn't know what a rotary phone is. Yes, sir. All right, time for another swig of Dr. Pepper. By God, I waited too long. This is one of those patterns where I'm excited to see what it's going to look like in the end. I mean, it's sort of that way with every pattern I do, but this one I think it's because it's a classic show, and personally it's kind of a abstract yet really clear. I don't know how to explain it, dagnabbit. That's words. Almost done with this chaotic sweater. Again, not tracing exact on the sweater, just making sure there's a big enough area being left between each cut on the ribs. The reason why I'm calling it ribs is because that's the term I use for the area between, for the sweater, it's ribbed. Hello, Leonard Davis. Appreciate you being here. Rami over from Egypt, if I recall. Want a short video about teaching design from start to work. Well, I don't do short videos, but I have 5 downloadable videos, but none of them are short. But yeah, from the time I make it into a pattern, all I do after that is print it out and trace it onto the wood. So I don't know how I could show any more of that. Stanley Langford has joined us. Says, howdy, bros. What are y'all doing? That's funny right there. What are y'all doing? That's funny right there. That was a good impression. Stanley sounded just like me. That's funny right there. Lawrence says, just wanted to stop by and say hi. Prayers, everyone. Appreciate you being here, Lawrence. Awesome Man says, I remember an episode of The Hulk that didn't get aired, which starred Hulk Hogan because he was bigger than Lou was. You're a dork. Appreciate you being here, Mr. Leonard Davis. Or if you're Russ Clarity, you say Leonard. That's funny right there. Okay. A little bit crowded in here, but I'm just going to draw it myself and keep the spacing the same because it's not real important to the picture except for that we know it's a sweater. But I'm still paying attention to which direction the ribs are going so that we still got the impression of what's there. And the sweater is done, thank God. The only other time-consuming part is going to be the hair. I say time-consuming, but you know what I mean. It just can have a little more detail, and there's a lot of floaters, so I'll have to invent, but that's not going to be too hard to do. It goes off the edge of the picture here. But if we wanted to add more, we could, because there's really not that much not showing on the edge. There's a little bit of a gap right here where his cheekbone comes out. Not really mandatory to add that, but there's that. Tracy Keaton says, I remember David Banner. Sometimes he was just a nice guy. Just such a nice guy until someone tried to mess with him or take advantage of him. Yes, ma'am. That I know what you mean now, Aussie man. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was on there, but I thought you were being funny because he goes by the name Hulk. But you're right, he was bigger than Lou Ferrigno, so at least perceived that way. I don't remember. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I always thought Lou Ferrigno was bigger, but I haven't really compared them side by side. That's just me. And again, you see me tracing shadows that are light, but they're still there, and we can't shade when a scroll saw pattern, so we're just going to go with it. So there may not be a pretty way to do this this eyebrow over here, because it's so light that I'm actually guessing on a lot of it. But I think we'll be okay. I do know Lou Ferrigno was pretty darn big, though, at least for that era. Hello, Mr. Steve Nealon and Ken McCrory. And Tracy Keaton says Lou Ferrigno won World's Strongest Man 7 times. Well, that being said, as far as the who's bigger, I don't know, but you can be stronger than somebody and not necessarily be bigger, because not all muscles are stacked. Sometimes they have long muscles, and that's what they mean by wiry. John Cousins, welcome back. He says too many videos airing all at the same time. I don't know what else is airing besides Makers International podcast. Austin Manna says, perhaps they meant taller, but I can only tell you what I saw. Yeah, I imagine he was taller than Lou Ferrigno. If I remember right, he's pretty darn tall. Hello, Mr. Joe Nave. Well, Jamie Page is part of Makers International Podcast. That's why I didn't say his name individually, because there's Jamie Page, Richard Morley, and Chris Cute, and I believe their guest today was Dale Kirkwood. But I was setting up for the live stream, so I didn't join the chat, which I usually would. Dale Kirkwood is Maple Tree Studios. JP is Jamie Page. I don't know. JC might have been a typo from somebody. No, JC. What if I could? John C is John P.A. Cousins. I don't know. I might be getting confused by everybody else's confusion. So. John P.A. Cousins was on last night's live stream here. Now, I added a line here that wasn't there because I didn't want the lower eyelashes to make it look like that was the bottom of the eye. And you don't want to go all the way across because it'll make that area way too brittle. Arneo Media says JP did a premiere right after Makers International. I did not know that. Okay. So that's what y'all are talking about. Okay. And I know it's not against the quote unquote law, but I don't like it when I am the one that overlaps other people's live streams, because although it's a free country and, we're a supportive community, I don't like to schedule live streams that are overlapping other people's. I'm not upset with them. I'm upset with myself in the sense that, I want to give people a chance to watch them and then have the option to watch me, rather than making people have to decide. So I'm making it sound a lot more serious than I am. But, I support those guys, so I'm sorry if anybody had to pick and choose. I haven't seen Jamie in a while. Apparently he made an egg, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten to talk to any of those guys in a while, at least not on a live stream. This is an example of, it's very light, but we know it's hair, so I'm just going to add it in there because we can't shade, and I'll say that a few times. I didn't finish the eyelid over here. I don't want to forget it. What's more show? The eyelid and a little bit of eyelashes, I guess. Arnell Media says he just watches more than one at a time. He has more than one monitor, probably more than one computer. I don't remember. What if I could says saw that the chat last night was ran 5.5 hours. Did you finish the pattern up? Yes, sir, I did. If you look under Hulk on woodenvisions.com, you'll see both versions. I did one with a border and one without. And Benjamin Luton says this will be a great pattern. Thank you, sir. Let's take us another swig here. Being on camera makes me more conscious of the mess on my desk. Trust me, you can't see the majority of the mess on my desk. And Tracy Keaton says you truly are making it more serious than it is. There's no way you can overlap some other maker. It just can't happen. You will always bump into someone. Yeah, and again, Tracy, I'm not mad at myself, and because if anybody's watching any of my live streams, I love to support other makers that are doing shows and what they're doing in general. And hopefully, and I feel pretty confident that they don't resent me when I'm doing a live stream. I just like to be supportive of them. And if I could choose, so to speak, in hindsight, I would try to schedule around those things. But I'm spending so much time worrying about what I want to put out that I sometimes overlap them. So I'm not mad at them, and I don't imagine they're mad at me either. That was my way of showing support for them. Arnell Media says, I have 3 computers running plus phone and tablet. Good lordy, I wouldn't be able to do that. Too much media, Steve, equals social butterfly, says John Cousins. Part of work, says Arnell Media. Arnell Media is who does woodenvisions.com. I could not be where I am on the website without him. And John Cousins, I assume you're talking to Arnell Media, because I don't know if you're talking to me, I have no idea what you mean. Awesome Man says, I just looked it up. Hulk Hogan was 1.9 inches taller than Lou. All right, good to know. Okay, I'm postponing the inevitable because I know I have to do all that hair up there. I do see a couple forehead lines. I'm going to go ahead and add it. They're not real prominent, but they're there. And you know me, if there's detail to add, by God, we're going to add it. And the Super Bowl's about to start, so we might lose a few people, but that's all right. Maybe extend the shadow a tiny bit. Now that, believe it or not, just extending that line added probably 5 years or more of age to him, but he is transitioning into the Hulk, so that's okay. Okay, so you were talking to Steve Nealon. Oh. Sorry, stretching, and I bumped into the camera because that's what I do. I love a good stretch. Okay, there's a whole bunch of hair up here. I guess I'm trying to motivate myself to just jump on it. And again, the only transition area I think is going to look chaotic in a scroll saw pattern is this red area. Everything else I think will line up okay. I can probably eliminate this one line right here because it kind of looks out of place. Although it's actually part of this one. But I'm going to add this, and all that. But the only area I think is going to be chaotic is this right here. And yeah, sorry. Tracy Keaton says, I actually meant bigger. Lou's arms and shoulders, back, and chest were much bigger than Hulk Hogan. I didn't mean he was taller than Hulk Hogan. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, either way, they're both big fellers, by God. Okay. Probably going to be creating a lot of lines in these, in the hair of these, because there's a lot of broken areas. But I'll keep saying it that we can't shade as a scroll saw pattern, so we're just going to invent some lines. There's some lines that aren't there, and we don't want a bunch of floaters in here. I threw out a new hashtag to Steve Nealon earlier. I called him hashtag Mean Monkey. Not as funny as Babbling Monkey, but dang it, there it is. And if you don't understand what that means, you haven't watched enough of my live streams, and shame on you. How dare you not revolve your life around my live streams? I'm kidding. Come on now. I revolve my life around them. Kind of have to. A lot of very light lines here. Let me go ahead and move this so I don't keep bumping it up against stuff. I don't really need it right now. Whoops. Started to take off too much tape there. And if any of y'all are partaking in the Super Bowl right now, occasionally throw me scores or noteworthy events going on with it. I ain't worried about the commercials. They're not as good as they used to be. Plus, I can find those on YouTube. Which I guess technically I could just open up Google. I think that's what I'll do. Rather than asking people, I'll just occasionally glance over there. Yeah, well. I don't know if they'll let me type in NFL score. So that's usually where I keep up. Dagnabbit, if I could stop bumping the camera would be good. Bear with me here. All right. Now, obviously, it has just started or somewhere in there, but okay, let's get back to the stream here. Okay. More of the fun, chaotic hair. And if you don't want to add every single detail of the hair, you don't have to. I'm just trying to somewhat stay true to the photograph. But I'm also being a little bit quick and lazy with some of it. Because to me, the faces are the main focal point, but I also try to stay close to the original photograph. John Nave says, wait, there's a football game on right now. Stanley Langford asks, how do you decide what to draw in, to cut out, and what to leave and to make up the portrait? Well, as far as avoiding floaters, that's practice. But other than that, I cut out shadows and dark colors. That's a very generic way of putting it, but I'm not trying to avoid your question. I just try to basically go for the shadows. Now, sometimes dark colors you can't really tell, but depends. 9 times out of 10, it's shadows is what you're cutting out. So that's what I go by. So I hope that answers your question. I am jumping around here on the hair. I'm not real good at staying in one spot too long. Well, that's usually when I forget to trace stuff, so I should stay in one spot longer. There's light shining from up above in the picture, so I'm looking past that to get the shape of the hair here. So a lot of what you've learned while doing scroll saw patterns, it'll become second nature after a while. That's why sometimes I actually struggle to answer questions, but I try to. But as far as what to trace and what not to, that's really comes with practice. After a while, it'll come natural. But yet the easy answer would be shadows. As far as what you're cutting out would be shadows. But I'm trying to avoid floaters is the biggest, I guess, learning curve. In my opinion, I don't know. There was a few places on yesterday's live stream that I forgot to trace certain lines, so I'm trying to avoid that happening here. I'm not being real exact on tracing these shadows in the hair, just basic shape of it. Stanley Langford says, okay, so you cut shadows and leave the lighter parts of the picture to make the portrait. That makes sense. Thanks. You're welcome. The biggest battle that you see me going through, in my opinion, is you have light shadows and dark shadows. Like there's a dark shadow there and there's a lighter shadow around it. So I suggested the edge of it, not for the sake of the scroll saw pattern, but as a second option. If we don't like the way the mouth looks, we add in that bigger piece of shadow, just like over here. So I drew those lines just to tell myself that's an option. But if I decide to add those in, I'll connect that to everything, and it'll be completely colored in. We're actually almost done with this half. The other half, I think, will go quicker. And I apologize if this is about to be upside down to everybody, but it's upside down to me too. And I'm just concentrating on this upper part. Stanley Langford says, I'll be back. Got a sick child. I'm sorry about that, Stanley. And, hope you're able to make it back. Being sick is no fun, especially for a kid. We are dangerously close to being done with this half of the pattern. As you can see, I'm not being real careful on the detail in the hair because it is just hair. All right, this half is done as far as I'm concerned. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, there is another half. Personally, I think the other half's going to be more fun. I don't know how to justify that or explain that, but yeah, it's the Hulk, by God. There's actually less detail, in my opinion, except for the hair. there's less detail on the other half, and we'll see that here shortly. And then we'll do the computer part. But not everybody gets to say, I saw that pattern getting created. How cool is that? Now, this particular piece of carbon paper, I had a little extra on the end of it, so I taped the middle of it because it was crimped. You see, this is one of the few times, even as a drawing, it looks halfway decent in my opinion. So I think we're going to be good. Nice. I actually like it. As a drawing, I actually like it. That's kind of cool. But I think I forgot to trace part of that eye, so let me glance at the original picture. But it won't be too hard to fix. Yeah, I did forget to trace that. It's not a problem. And I forgot to finish that eye. Dag nabbit, what's wrong with me? Luckily, they're both just little arcs. So we're going to be okay. Luckily, they were very simple shapes to fix. If it had been something else, it could have been much worse. But I'm actually happy with how this looks as a drawing. Usually, it doesn't look as good. But once we color it in, it should be really right nice, by God. Hello, Wood Dan. Yes, Mimi, I'm sorry. I usually explain that. Now, I got something going on the backside that I started a long time ago and haven't finished. But it's Native American, but I had done so many Native Americans in a row that I didn't bother making a live stream out of it, and I haven't even finished it. Thank you, awesome man. Now, the reason I use a piece of glass, Mimi, is because with me using a pen on paper, I have a bunch of little scratches and gouges on my tabletop, and if I use glass with, cleaned off, then there's guaranteed that there won't be any texture that will take my pen off of what I'm tracing. So we got this half. I'm actually excited because this half turned out good. Or even in drawing form. It is very rare that it looks good in drawing form. So that's exciting. For me it is anyway. And I'm going to cut off the white part of this over here so we can butt it up against the other sheet. That way we'll know right where the transitions are. You can get them correctly. The other half should go pretty quick. I thought I had another clean sheet of paper out here, but I guess I didn't. We'll just grab us another one. So we start out with a sheet of glass underneath, clean sheet of paper, and then we go here. I get my carbon paper from CRE over on Amazon, but I also discovered their website, crecrafts.com. Darkest carbon paper I've found. I get a lot of notifications on my phone, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything important. Nothing yet. It's funny that you asked that, Mimi, because I've done so many of these pattern live streams that sometimes I forget that I need to repeat things that not everybody has seen. But yeah, that's usually the first thing I tell everybody is about the piece of glass and the card paper and the paper. But the one time I didn't, somebody asked about it. It's good to know. I got to be reminded sometimes. And we're going to bring up the other half, which I think will be fun. And I take things down so that nothing moves. And to make sure that it's straight, because we don't want one side to be straight and the other one crooked, because they won't line up right. And I just put something heavy on there. And then we tape that puppy down. Would then ask, do you use new carbon paper for each new pattern that you do? Yes, sir, I do. And I'll explain in just a second why I do that. I go through a lot of carbon paper. Now, the reason why I use a new one for each one, this is the one we just did. If I were to use a used one, I have to get it out of the light so it doesn't reflect too much. If I use a used one, everywhere I trace over where the carbon's already been taken off, it will be like a little break in the line. That's more cleanup on the computer portion, where I clean up the lines, connect them, and color them in. That's why I use a brand new one, because a brand new one is nice and dark and no skips to deal with. So that is why I do that. I do keep all of the used ones because I can use used ones for tracing onto patterns onto wood. And thank you, Aussie man. Yeah, I have probably a pile this thick or so of used carbon paper. Now, every now and then, and a lot of move stuff gets thrown in boxes. It gets all crimped up, so I have to throw them away sometimes. But okay, I'm gonna cut off this excess so it doesn't run into a bunch of crap. Because all we need is where it goes from one to the next, so it's okay to cut off the excess. We just want to know where to continue lines. So let's hope I didn't forget to trace anything. And we'll jump right into this puppy after I stretch a little bit, and we're going to take us a drink of Dr. Pepper or whatever beverage you're choosing. Oh. There's your Dr. Pepper. Ooh, I haven't taken my meds yet today. Oh well. And unfortunately, we got to check and see if YouTube's holding us for review. They held me for review the last hour and a half of yesterday's 5.5 hour live stream. No, we're not held for review yet. Yay. Bear with me. Right, we are back. Apparently, I bumped the camera again. Because that's what I do. Now, we are trying to stay true to the photograph here, but I can tell you right now, this little bitty tooth that's showing is probably going to translate funny, but we're going to try to stay true to the photograph. Let me try to get the camera a little bit closer here. Should have done that a long time ago, but I didn't. Show it a little better. Again, not sure about keeping this red here. So I'm going to suggest the edges of that red, but then I will probably eliminate it because I think it's going to translate funny. And if anybody doesn't know what I mean by translate funny, just ask me and I'll tell you. But otherwise, I've said it earlier. But not everybody's here from beginning to end. I get that. I'm putting little arrows to tell myself after I've taken the paper off where the red stuff is, so I can eliminate it if I don't like it. Let me draw this in first, and then I'll do that. I'm pretty confident I'll be eliminating this area, but you'll get to see both results. So while I'm tracing all that red stuff, I'm also going to be tracing as if it weren't there, so I have that other option when we get going. If you see me tracing out in the darkness, that's just me putting an arrow, telling myself that's where the red crap is. And y'all might, if anybody disagrees with me, feel free to throw that out there. But my gut tells me that red's going to look really chaotic. It won't be red in the pattern, but I'm pretty dang sure that's not going to look good in the scroll saw pattern. The rest of it, I'm keeping it as is. But although we know what the photograph looks like, I'm pretty sure that's going to look really dorky. Luckily, the teeth touch the bottom lip here, so that's how the teeth will be attached. They won't be floaters. And the gaps between the teeth, or the lines between the teeth, will just be lines. They won't be completely traced, or otherwise it would fall apart. Okay, and I'm about to trace the bottom lip as if that red wasn't there, so that's why it's going to look a little funny when I take the paper off. Well, technically right now I'm doing the shadow underneath it, but yeah. But it goes into the bottom lip. This line right here is I want to say it's the shadow of his collarbone of this one because his shoulder's right here. But it's there. Oh, it's also where his chin is and the jawline. There's not a line there, but I'm going to add it just to better show that jawline. So that helped add a little bit of dimension there. His frown lines aren't real prominent, but they are there, and we can't shade, so we're going to trace them. Some of the detail I'm tracing you might not even be able to see it because it's so light. It is 3-0 49ers, so apparently they did a field goal. I'm not sure about adding all this detail in here. I'm afraid it'll look too sloppy. So I'm probably going to leave that out. Now, we're not going to completely trace all that darkness there because that would make that a flutter. So I'm just going to go a little bit shy of the edge of it, and that'll make it stay. It'll be brittle, I'll tell you that. I mean, I may have to fiddle with it. Y'all being awful quiet out there. We're just watching. Since it's daytime and a decent hour, it probably won't take long to get this onto the website once I get all the stuff put in there for my web builder, which would be Steve Miller and Harnell Media. And this piece of detail is going to be here. This piece of detail here is going to be a little bit brittle or fragile, for lack of a better word, but it should hold up. I mean, if you wanted to, you could add a piece of hair in there between there if you wanted to, but I'm trying to stay true to the photograph. You don't want to completely trace every tooth, otherwise they'd be floaters. So I'm just mainly suggesting the shape of them. And I don't know if these were done a long time ago and they just jumped in, but the chat says, just how big will this pattern be? Well, it's 2 sheets of paper, and I scan each sheet of paper in at 300 DPIs. That's the best I can tell you, because I do them at 300 DPI so you can enlarge them without losing detail or clarity. And the rest of it's a bunch of people saying hello, and John Cousins is saying 3-0 San Francisco, which I already said earlier, but there might be a lag between YouTube and here. It's 3rd and 11 at the San Francisco 15-yard line, Kansas City Chiefs. If they're that close to the San Francisco end zone, then I'm pretty sure they're about to make a touchdown. Everybody's saying hello, Bill. He's been here a while. Maybe I'm just getting delayed. Unless there's a comment I don't see somewhere. Anyway, I'll just get back to it. But we got lucky on all the mouths that the teeth are attached, or the light areas. There's light bottom lip, so we didn't have a bunch of floating teeth. I really think this is going to be a really awesome scroll saw pattern. My God. And y'all got to be here for it. I have gone entirely too long without my beverage. How you gonna let that happen? Y'all supposed to remind me to take a drink. All right, let's get back on it. I'm about to sneeze. There's a little bit of a line here suggesting the upper lip, so I'm going to use it. John John Nave says, I thought yesterday you didn't have any. I'm not even sure what he's talking about because I talk so many different topics. Oh, Dr. Pepper? No, I had some. I just didn't announce it every time. But some people got on to me saying, you've gone too long without Dr. Pepper, so I started announcing when I was drinking it. If I have any control over it, by God, there will always be a Dr. Pepper next to me. The one time I didn't, there was a little bit of close to passing out, which is sad. I was prepared to suffer for people, but my body said, nope, you need you some Dr. Pepper there, buddy. I really think this is going to be such an awesome scroll saw pattern. Not even going to lie. And I like that this half of it's relatively simple except for his hair. It's one of those things that it's just going to look detailed by default because of what it is. That's just my opinion. I'm a little biased sometimes. If I was going to make fun of anything about the classic Hulk, I didn't like his hair. I wish it looked a little more natural, but yeah, just me. Okay. And I like the fact that this eyeball, or this is the bulge under the eye, and the eyeball. I like the fact that it's attached to the hair. I don't have to invent a bunch of crap to hold it on there. John Nave says, I think it'll be an awesome pattern also. Thank you, sir. Checks in the mail. Just don't cash it. I think this is going to look plumb neat. I'm actually looking forward to this one more than usual. Okay, here comes the eyeball. No pupil showing, or irises. I don't know why this one excites me more than other ones do. I mean, the other one yesterday was pretty detailed, but I just think something special about this one's going to look pretty neat, by God. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, now we have a little bit of shadow in here, so we're going to add a little bit, because he does have eyebrows, but it doesn't show up real good right in here. But we're going to add some detail regardless, because that's what we do. I'm really excited about this one. I don't know why, but I am. So a lot of scroll sawyers, not all of them, but a lot of scroll sawyers are from my generation or older, so they can relate to knowing who this is and why it's kind of cool. Seven to 3, Kansas City. I knew. Hello, Ron. I knew that Kansas City was going to score. They were too close not to. I'm only seeing I have it on Google. I'm just refreshing it every now and then. When I saw that Kansas City was at the 15-yard line of San Francisco, they're too good not to make it in unless San Francisco does a good goal line stand, but apparently they did not. I don't know the particulars because I'm right here doing this, just saying. And thank you for that update, Mr. Ron Norris. And click. I was waiting for you to say something like that. That skull, that Hulk would look cool riding a deer out in the woods. Just saying. A little inside joke for anybody that has no clue what I'm talking about. You were probably biting your tongue or your finger, so to speak. This crap right here is just light reflecting weird off the lens of the camera, so I'm ignoring that. Never seen a green deer. That's all wrong for you. Dealing with a little bit of pain right now from the past health events. I won't go into detail, but yeah, it's trying to creep back up. Some of the detail I'm tracing is very light. You might not even be able to see it, but I see it just enough that I'm adding it. There's a lot of glare from the camera lens crack. I need to stretch a little bit. Sorry, the pain is increasing a little bit, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to kill myself to do this, but I got to let the pain subside a little bit. Not me. I'm designing patterns. Lily. Tough crowd. Welcome to my world. Some of this detail in the hair I'm kind of inventing because it's very faintly there, but I don't see much shape to it, so I'm just kind of making it up. Why is it giving you a hard time, Dennis? Probably adding more hair or more detail in this eyebrow than I need to, but I am going by what I see. Or what I think I see anyway. And if this eyebrow ends up looking too light, I may cut it completely out because it is just the eyebrow. But what I'm dealing with right now is trying to make it look like the photograph. So that's why I'm tracing it all. And Dennis is saying he should have made his pattern bigger. That happens a lot with my designs. Pen is trying to crap out on me, so we're going to grab another one. Apparently that one's crappy too. For the record, that will not be part of the pattern. Damn it. What is with all these pins that won't... I'm going to get a brand new one out, by God. I don't have to stay right on the lines for some of this hair, but I do want the ink line to show up for y'all's sake and mine, so I know where I've already been. Hello, Chris Nealon. He says, time for a break from Super Bowl. Evening, Charles. Scroll on. Right back at you there, buddy. Appreciate you being here. And Dennis says the end product will not look anything like the pattern. It's one of those where you keep asking, should I finish it? But I will get it done. This is a learning project. I can relate to, will I finish it? I get you. And again, some of the stuff you're seeing up here is lens or reflection. I'm ignoring that. And if you can't see what I'm tracing, don't feel bad because I can barely see it. There's lights and darks, but for like the A-time, you cannot shade. And a scroll set pattern, it's either there or it's not. Tommy Hickson asked orbit sander or belt sander to take off fuzzies. I use a belt sander on the edges of pieces and an orbit sander on the main surface. But you want to keep as many waste pieces to avoid breaking the brittle areas, put the waste pieces back in place. And I know I'm jumping around a lot here, but that's what we do. See, the Chiefs are already at the San Francisco 16, so odds are they're going to get in it again. By God. That's just my guess because I'm not watching. I'm just looking at current crap. Tommy Hickson says, hello, everybody. Just finished up my Golden Eagle. Congratulations, sir. Ron Norris says, Thanos didn't like Hulk. Yeah, I don't expect they thought a whole lot of each other. Kind of happens with enemies every now and then. And for those that don't know, Thanos, I believe, is an Avengers villain voiced by, what's his face, Josh Brolin. But Thanos didn't know this guy because that's a different time. Okay, apparently Kansas City had to settle for a field goal. But they're still winning. Now, because the detail in this area is so light, I'm not going to add as much. Chris Nealon says, so my priest had a joke, and since it's a priest, I'm assuming it's family friendly, but he says, my priest had a joke at the end of Mass. What do you get when you sit on ice? Cold and wet, I guess. And Dennis says, Charles, I just put what I'm working on Facebook. Check it out when you get time. Oh, by God, I can do that now because we're only. Whoops, if I could spell, I'd get there quicker. Be quicker if I just go to your profile instead of trying to search. There you are. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I think I've seen that in one of the Scroll Saw catalogs. That's pretty neat. Polaroids, huh? That's like hemorrhoids, polar. Yeah, okay, that's pretty funny right there. That's funny. That was the punchline to what do you get when you sit on ice? Snare drum, but you gotta have a symbol too, or you can't get the chick. Again, not adding a whole lot of detail in here because I don't want to. Dagnabbit, says Ron. He might be implying that that's what I tend to do, and he would be right. Dennis says when he was in high school, he was in a Mr. Cold contest. He had to sit on a block of ice. There's no way in hell I'd do that. By golly. Ron Norris acts like he's heard me before. Come on now. By golly. Or by God. Either one. If we're not careful, I think we might be almost done with the drawing portion here. I'm just doing a last double check, make sure I didn't forget anything important. A little bit of detail in here. I done messed around and got all done with the pattern and stuff. It's up to that. Gonna do a double check, make sure we didn't forget something important here. Well, there's either Dag Nabbit or Dag Blabbit. There's kind of both. And he won. And did you get frostbite on your hind end? I want to say congratulations. All right, folks, I think we're done with the drawing portion of this chaos. We shall find out here directly. I hope I didn't forget to trace anything because I just crumbled it up, and that's what I do. Good evening, Mac Bear. It's about time you got here. You just wanted to be here for the computer part, I guess. I really think this is going to be a really cool scroll saw pattern, just saying. Hopefully everybody and their dog will rush out to buy it. No pressure, though. I don't mind eating cardboard. It's fine. There's the other half. Actually not being held for review yet. That's pretty cool. And Ron Norris being Ron Norris is not as cool as Deer in the Woods, but okay, we're going to do the screen share part, and then we'll do the computer part, by God. Oy. Okay, let's bring up the scanner. I'm telling you, this is probably going to be a nifty pattern, just saying. The way it looks like it. Just so y'all know, I'm not able to see comments and questions while I'm doing this, so I will be a little slow to read them. But I will peek just in case. Chris Nealon says, I have to download the pattern I bought yesterday. I appreciate your business, sir. Dennis says, way cool, sir. Way cool, Charles. Thank you, sir. And Chris Nealon says, I love Bill Bixby and the courtship of Eddie's father. Tommy Hickson says, tied up game. 10-10, says Ron Norris. By God, we are there, folks. Okay. Sorry, I was checking Facebook. Forgot I was screen sharing. Okay. Oy. Let me move the camera since it's not being used right now. So you're seeing behind my computer. All right. Let's do this. Oh, man. Got a little weird shadow up there. That means I didn't have it all the way on there. So, wait, let me look at the original. Nope, I need to rescan that one, I think. No, we'll make it work. Well, no, let's be safe and rescan that one because it looked like it moved. Dag blabbit. Like it lifted off the scanner bed a little bit. So we're going to rescan the David Bixby part. Get rid of that Sparky. And if this one ends up looking the same, we'll just deal with it. A little cleaner. Good deal. All right. The computer program I'm using is called PaintShop Pro 4. They don't make it anymore. I'm just informing people of what I'm using. And that's why I'm not trying to teach it, because I'm not good at teaching computer crap anyway. Barely good at learning it. Now, people on YouTube can see each other's chat, but I can't see if there's any comments or questions because I'm screen sharing the program thing here. Apparently, I got this sheet all kinds of dirty with the carbon paper. don't know how I got that so dirty, but I did. And I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. Where are we at? Oh, I thought Russ was waiting in the wings, but that's my screen share. Wow, I got a lot of catching up to do. Holy monkey. Russ Meadows says, hello, everybody. Lots of hellos. And Josh called him West Meadows. Oscar Man says, Charles, I was just surfing the net and found a picture made me think of your patterns. Check your email scroller, man. Will do, sir. Charles can't see us. Now's our chance to talk smack. Or not. That's funny right there. Smack, 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 or not. Josh Grover, or of course we could all leave. He wouldn't know the difference. It wouldn't surprise me in the least, y'all fellas. Nicer than hell, I tell you what. Yeah, but look back at the video. Yes, sir. He can feel the love. Absolutely. I felt everything burning down around me. Mac Pierce says we could all switch over to Facebook instead of YouTube. Well, I see both anyways, as long as you're commenting. Hide in the shadows. Okay, I'm going. Russ, message me on Facebook if you are wanting to get on. Although we're almost done, it's completely up to you. Let's check the score. We're still at 10-10. Hello, Tracy. Welcome back. Hopefully he's looking at the chat. Draw ball. All right, we're going to go back to this here part. Let me check the bottom there, make sure we're down far enough. And we are not. A little more. All right. Still got a little couple areas not going off the edge, but we'll get there. Y'all simmer down over there. I'll be back. About to check up on you, so y'all better be careful. Mr. Peanut didn't die. Cool. Just made me do it. Hello, Charles again. Hello, Tracy again. Well, there you go, Dag Nabbit. All right, so we are ready to roll, but we do need to clean up lines, make sure they're going where they need to go. One of them being making sure the ones that go off the edge actually go off the edge, which they're not, because that would be entirely too convenient. And there's a break in the line right there I can see. This one's a little crowded, I can see. You're being too quiet out there. I know you're getting into trouble. Don't make me pull this car over. That's funny right there. I don't care who you are. I gotta check again, Dag Blebbit. He just got roasted. Yep. Who is Steve? Steve is Steve Nealon. I don't know. I don't know if never mind. I don't know what the heck I'm responding to. Whoopsies. We don't want that. Apparently one of the lines did not go to the bottom. It sure looked like it did. Why didn't hey, Blebbit. I don't know why that didn't color in, but okay. Oh, monkey. I just thought. I just messed up. Y'all didn't even stop me either. Wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Scared me for a second there. I thought I was coloring in the wrong parts. Wait, maybe I was. The sweater ribbing. No, I think we're okay. We'll figure it out. That's the first time I've ever used the word monkey as a cuss word. Just saying. Really, really good. Really. Some of these are colored in because they're red. Some of them are light, turning off the sweater, which is the case in this area. So, whoops, I forgot something somewhere in here. Oh, that was where the blame it. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here, so I'm just gonna create a line there. I got issues. I'm checking on you. Mac Fair says we're always in trouble, Charles. You can't pull this train wreck over. Pattern is cleaning up nicely. Do you do, or you do you? Probably what he meant. But all right, so there's that. By God. And thank you for that. A lot of broken lines in here, by God. Well, I say that, but this is where we're trying to figure out whether or not we want that red. I'm pretty sure I'm going to eliminate that red part. Just saying. If you're wondering what the heck I mean by red part, you have not been here very long, and I will show you. But let me make sure everything that's supposed to go off the edge is, which it is not. Didn't miss it by much, but we did miss it. Wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? Never mind, that's his hair. I thought I cut off part of the eye. That was scary. I was a little scared there, just saying. Go back color in those ones we cleaned up. We didn't check along the top, did we? Yeah, blab it. I'm about to check up on y'all, behave. Okay, wow, there actually wasn't a whole lot said. One time I tried to catch y'all messing up, y'all were behaving. If we start coloring stuff in, it's going to get real pretty. Well, depending on your opinion, but yeah. Now, this is that debatable one. Where that crap is. Too hard to behave. I need to stand up, stretch for a second. The pain is coming back. Oh, diddly. I just found a major line I forgot to trace. The top of the mouth on the third over the left hulk. Agnibbit. That's a heck of a line to forget to trace, Dag Blabbit. We'll get it there. We'll get it. Oh. I can't believe I forgot to trace that part of that mouth. I'm sorry I'm being so quiet, but that pain is starting to intensify. But if it gets too bad, I'll stop. But I think we're good for now. And the reason why we haven't colored in that inside part yet is because I'm going to make a copy of it after I have the rest of it done, so we can try it with and without that red part. Sorry, Russ, I didn't know you were sitting there waiting.
I've been here for 30 minutes.
You would. Sorry, I had to go check on the chat because they've been misbehaving. And that's how I saw you in there.
Well, I was here earlier, but I was on my phone, and it would let me come in, and talk to you, but it wouldn't let me see the chat. I could do one or the other,
Oh,
but couldn't do both at the same time on my phone.
well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I screw it.
I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Josh Grover, you call me Russ this time instead of Wes? When I came in earlier, he said, hello, Wes Meadows.
Yeah, I remember that. And that, without getting too specific, that pain I was dealing with last week is really screwing with me right now.
Mm.
Really. There's only so many things you can do to relieve it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to try something right quick. Can't believe I forgot to trace that mouth. Go ahead.
I was going to say hello again to Mac. Maybe I need a new phone. Nah, it's the nature of the beast when you're on your telephone. I could see one, or I could click on the chat and see the chat, but then I couldn't see him. No, my phone is still top notch, buddy.
We're going to do one version with the hair. Now, when I talk about the chaos red part, I'm referring to this crap right here. I don't think it's going to translate well in a scroll saw pattern, so I'm doing 2 versions, and we'll all vote on it. Oy. This one I'll treat like we're keeping it, so we'll color everything in.
Let me go ahead and say hello to everybody else in the chat. Steve and Dennis and John P.A. Cousins, who helped me name my business.
What do you mean? Oh, never mind. Oh, he was the one that came up
Yeah,
with
he helped me name it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of because there's another guy out there in Facebook land that goes by the name Rusty Nails, and that's what I was using at the beginning. And when I saw that, so I said, "Oh, let me change." And I was trying to think of something else, but John said, "Just put a Z on the end of it. That's what everybody's doing." That's how I did it.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
Hello, Tracy. Mimi Lord, operator error. I think he's talking about you, or maybe me.
Ain't no telling.
Hey, Chris. Aussie says he thinks it's shaping up to be one of your best pattern scroller, man.
Well, thank you, mister. I'm from the beginning, I thought, man, this is going to look cool. What the hell was I doing? Why didn't I trace the top of that dang mouth? Ugh. I thought here I did everything, and somebody out there was probably screaming, dude, you forgot the upper part of the mouth.
Yeah, poor things, they didn't have a mouthpiece to speak for them, but I'm here now.
Well, that's good. And then what? Some smart aleck say, Charles, you forgot to trace the top of the mouth.
That'll probably be coming up.
Yep, because I just opened the door.
Well, Mimi did say your operator error was referring to me.
Okay.
Uh-oh, wife just got back.
Oh, dear.
Let me see how much groceries she's got.
Okay. This is the version where we are keeping the red. But I still have to trace the top of that dang mouth, because that's not going to be too hard. And thank you, Bill, if I didn't say anything. Whoops. That means there's a break in the line. Y'all probably saw it, but didn't tell me. I don't see the break in the line. So we'll go zoom in closer. Where's the dang break? There's no break in the line. There's no reason that shouldn't have colored in. Unless y'all saw it and I didn't. I'm gonna try this again. Okay, what did y'all do? I probably skimmed right over it. Heck, blame it. Look closer, Charlie. Or sometimes what I do is I do it in sections, and that helps. So we'll do it that way. That helps me narrow down a break in the line that I cannot see. Okay, we haven't found the break yet. There it is. Dagnabbit. Y'all probably saw that every time, and I didn't see it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Well, that looks all kinds of crappy. Even with that mouth not done, I don't like that chaos look. But we're gonna check the comments because Russ ran off. Hello, Mr. Dave Gatton. Sorry I was screen sharing. I couldn't see you. Yeah, and Josh Grover brought up a good point. I like to mess up the mouth. That's what I do. I was screaming. No, I wasn't. Says Chris. Yeah, that's funny. All these people here to help. How sweet is that? Appreciate you being here, Dave Gatton. Is the Hulk on Netflix? I have no idea. Oh, Kiss at Harnell Media. This is based off of a earlier conversation, but Steve Nealon definitely took advantage of that one. I would have told you missed, but that would be work. That's just mean right there. Okay. But yeah, remember how I was saying how chaotic it was going to look with the area that's red right there? Even with the not counting the mouth, that looks like crap. But just to say I did, I'm going to freaking do the mouth. Because apparently everybody wants the Hulk to have a mouth. Not much to add though. I think it's just one subtle curve. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Just one little curve. We good. But because of where all that hair is, it looks like he has cleft lip. And I can say that because I have cleft lip. Yeah, I think we'll all agree that it looks really crappy with that red part in there. Come on now. Aren't you glad I decided I was going to do otherwise? Me too. But I will check in case people are talking smack. Yeah, okay. Nobody's talking smack yet. Let's check the score. Oh, it's halftime. Yeah, the score never goes up during halftime. Anyway, that looks like utter, complete, total crap with that chaotic hair in the middle. So I'm glad I said I was going to eliminate that. But I need to go back to this one and fix some of the stuff that I fixed as I was going. That looks, I'm so glad that I decided to do an option without that red in there because that looks spoopy-ish. Something doesn't look right in that chin area. I'll check it here in a second. Whoops. Yeah, it didn't add it in that mouth yet. Okay. I also didn't do that right over there. Dag blabbit. I also need to break up this line. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to buy this right version, but it's there, so. Where are we at? Where are we at? Welcome back, mister.
Yeah, I should have left the mic off a little bit longer. I had to catch my breath hauling all them groceries in.
That's funny right there. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, you don't know what you're doing. We're in trouble.
I'm trying to determine what I'm keeping and what I'm not over here.
Oh, you took that part out of it. I see
Yep.
what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just making it harder than it needs to be. So let me create another one and eliminate that way. Blah, bull stank. It's easier than I'm making it. I'm having issues.
Yeah. I wondered how you were going to try to handle that with that thing in the middle of it, where.
Yeah, that's why I made little notes and arrows to myself on the pattern. Oh, okay, this is the bottom lip, so we're not keeping that. That was part of my confusion. And I think, what? Oh,
Mac Pierce, welcome back. Did she buy the whole grocery store? Yes, sir. I think she did.
this is confusing the flip-flop out of me. Maybe once I paste it, I'll be able to figure it out. I think it's because of where some of the hair transition or some of the shadow over here transitions in. We'll try it this way. I know these aren't involved. Because I know some of that can be colored in. So let's just edit, copy. Oh, poopy stank.
I just want to ask any of you gentlemen out there who's brave enough to answer the question. When your wife calls and asks you, do we need anything at the store? I said, not that I can think of. She doesn't have anything on the list, but she goes to the store anyway and brings back a ton of stuff. That's my God. We didn't need all of that, but you got it anyway. Anything happen to y'all like that?
Well, no, we make a list, but yeah.
Oh, well, she had a list, but there wasn't hardly anything on it. So I wasn't expecting, she buys these big old packages of bottled water, and she tries to get the biggest one because it's the most cost effective. And I told her, I said, look, I don't want to be carrying 50 pounds on my back with my bad knees for 50 yards trying to get it up in the house, up porches and everything else.
Yes, sir.
What the heck is wrong with you? But she bought 2 of them. Thankfully, she packed 1 of them, but
Okay.
Lord have mercy. Chris, brave. She asked, do these pants make me look fat? I said, oh.
I say, does this gender make me look stupid enough to answer that?
There is no right answer to that question.
Want to get away?
Steve says all the time. Lord have mercy. That's something I don't understand. It's funny. Because, that's the difference between men and women. A man will go in there and get what he came to get and leave.
Well, unless he's hungry.
Not women. No. For the most part, you'll get what you come to get and leave. But not what ladies just can't do that.
Hell no.
Something catches that eye and woof.
Okay, this will clear up the chaos just a little bit. Right now it looks a little poopy, but we're gonna get there. This should color it in and make everything look somewhat normal. Please, please, please. There we go. That's what I wanted it to look like. Although it
Guess
doesn't.
what? I think you nailed it.
Okay, I'll look. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, it looks funny right there with his lip going up, but it's going up there too. So that was all the chaotic crap I was dealing with. So, okay, I knew I needed to do a version without that dang hair. I think we can all agree that with the hair in there, it looks like crapola.
Yeah.
It just looks like bull stank. So we're going to despeckle this one. I think we're, well, no, I think we're good. I do need to despeckle all that crap. Does anybody like the version with the hair in the middle, that red area? Because I don't, but you're welcome to throw in your feedback there.
I would prefer not to have it if it was me.
Me too.
Yeah, they're saying it looks much better.
Thank you. Now, luckily, I can prove that I wasn't unable to decide that on my own, because I told people in the beginning I suspect it's going to look like poopy stank with that hair in the middle. It was too dang chaotic. Right now, you're probably wondering what the holy heck I'm doing. I am going to get rid of those white specks and determine what the hell that is. Oh, I forgot to color that in. That's what I did. Now we're going to get rid of all the specks here after I really, come on now. Wait, this was too black. I think we'll figure it out. I'm so glad I did a second version of that, because I would have been, oh my God, what the hell's this?
Yeah, Chris says back in the 80s again, great hair. Big hair.
Yeah.
I remember all the guys in the boy bands had their big hair.
Whoops. We'll do that again. I used to be one of those guys that had my hair feathered back on the sides. Back when I had longer hair. By the way, some of y'all missed that yesterday, so I will bring those back up where I had hair. It's plumb sexy. Where is it at? There's a couple.
One of them, he didn't have any facial hair.
That's me on my wedding day in 1997, and that was a little bit younger on the right. And this was me with the long old hair. I had facial hair and all of
Oh,
it.
he did. Yeah.
It
Okay.
didn't show up. That's old Charlie back when he had hair. I shaved it off for a girl, and I regret every dang minute of it. Anyway, I'm sure nobody came here for that, but yeah, y'all freak out. Oh my God, Charlie had hair. Yeah, so there's that.
Awesome man tells me, Russ, that story would totally change if it was her money she was using. Yeah, my money goes towards that. That's for sure. Max says just about everything was better in the 80s.
Yep. I almost feel like I can get away with getting rid of this part right here. What do y'all think?
What part?
Right there, the light area I'm circling.
I'm
And
looking
again,
for it. I don't see any movement.
let me
Oh,
zoom
okay.
in.
I see it there.
Right in here. I'm not sure, but I mean the eyeball's right here, so I wanted to include that. But this is also, never mind, that's the light on the brow, so I'm gonna leave it. Something doesn't look right in there, but it is what it is. I think overall, we nailed it. Now,
it's great.
Thank y'all. What do you thank you? What do you think about the corners of the mouth here, where I wasn't sure whether to go with the light and the dark? Should I get rid of the bigger ones or add them? Does that make any sense?
From my own perspective, you might want to start over and say that again.
Okay, you see that? Well, let me do this. You see how the corners of the mouth have dark and
Right.
light around it? To compensate for that, I traced the dark and the light. Do you think the mouth is okay without the dark being done, or should I?
I'd rather have the dark there and not worry about the light.
Okay, so let's go that
Try
route.
that and see what it looks like.
Well, let me save this so in case you screwed me up.
Yeah. Mac is wondering about the eyeball. Does it look right like that?
Well, it's amongst a bunch of hair, so I didn't have a whole lot of choice. I could take some of the chaotic hair out of there, but the hair sort of ties into this third one over here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Aussie says he doesn't think the chaotic looks like him morphing into the Hulk.
Okay, good. That's what good. I feel like I need to clean up something in this area though, so we're gonna save this. Okay.
Maybe I said that wrong. He says I don't. I think the chaotic looks like him morphing into the Hulk. I said it backwards.
So you're telling me the one that I thought looked like Poopy Heck you like?
Bill, is that what you're saying?
I mean that's both of them. The one on the right is the chaotic one.
All right, folks, why don't y'all go ahead and side by side tell us which one you think is the best. Max says it's just an odd photo, hard to make sense out of it to make a pattern.
I get what he's saying though, because there is so much overlapping. The one on the right shows all that overlapping, but to me it kind of confuses the crap out of the left side of the Hulk's face.
Yeah.
And we can do both versions. I mean, completely up to folks. I'll offer them both for sale, but I'm pretty sure the one on the right may not sell.
I'd rather have the one on the left if it was just me, because those of us that were around to watch that show, we know what happened. But I don't necessarily need to see the one on the right. Yeah, I like the other better.
I appreciate it, and I can definitely offer both for sale in case somebody agrees with Awesome Man Bill.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those that's in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So you may have to go with two.
Yeah, I need to do the despeckle on this version too. Wait, I forgot.
Dennis likes the one on the right.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
I'm
and
glad that's two people now, so I better keep it.
Josh says he thinks the chaotic one could really be cool if color was added to the backer.
Yeah, if color was added, yes. But if we're being honest, of course we're being honest. The backer isn't what's colored; it's the detail right in here, down the
Yeah.
middle is red. That's where the chaos is. If you colored the wood or whatever, that would show it. And so technically you could do the whole right half of this green, and maybe the upper, and then
Yeah.
do red down the middle. So it'd be more so, in my opinion, it would be the wood more than the backer.
Right. Well, Chris thinks the far right Hulk's hairline is too pronounced.
Over here
The far right, yeah.
on the top, it's too pronounced.
Well, he didn't mention it like that. I read it just like what he said.
He might mean along here. I don't know if you can see he might be referring to how bulbous this area right here is. He may not be. I don't know.
He thinks bleeding over too much to the left.
Over here?
I'm not seeing what he's talking about. The one on the right.
He might be referring to this part here. I don't know. One of these is probably what he's referring to.
Okay.
Or is he referring to this part?
Well, let's table it. All right, and see this. Charles Mack has an idea. He says maybe take more of the hair out from around the eye that we were talking about. That might make
that's what I'm about to do.
Odd.
As soon as I clean up this one, I will. I planned on doing that because that does look a little chaotic around there.
Okay. Well, Chris says it looks like the head outline is overlapping the left, and Awesome Man saying the one on the right.
They're both overlapping, so I'm so confused right now. See, this is why we need people on the panel, because if they know how to do graphics enough where they can screen capture and then do little doodles pointing at what they're talking about.
Yeah, well,
if somebody can do a screen capture and scribble in what they're talking about, I'm a little confused by what you're saying. I know the comment about the around the eye. Yeah, I can work on that.
Well, Chris said he thought it was bleeding over too much to the left, and Aussie Man below him said yes. I'm wondering if he was referring to that. And then Chris says, looks like the head outline is overlapping the left.
They are overlapping.
Yes.
They are in the photograph as well.
And Mac tells Chris it is overlapping. There's some transparency there, so you can see both images of the Hulk. Chris says he understands it's just distracting to him. I get what he's saying there, because there is overlapping.
Yeah. And I was trying to do a lot of the overlapping except for that middle. That's where it looks poopy heck.
Yeah.
But some people like it, so we're going to have both versions. Right now I'm just cleaning up the specs. And I'm going to fiddle with that eye. Well, you can't really tell that other eye is there unless you look for it.
The entire picture is a metamorphosis.
Yes, sir.
So you're bound to see overlapping if you draw it in there, and ideally, that's what you've got.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as that goes, the picture on your left, you do show the head overlapping from one to the other.
Yeah.
The one on the right is overlapping the one on the left, actually.
Okay,
but I like it better like that.
Me too.
Because of the gap in the middle.
Since some people like the chaotic version, what I'm doing is cleaning up the non-chaotic version around this eye here to where the eye shows up more pronounced. So we can get rid of the hair.
Awesome Man says nothing says you can't color the wood. That's true, you can.
Exactly. And I think that would make it translate better too.
Chris says I actually like the middle. Of which one?
The chaotic one, probably.
Steve says the front-facing Hulk is too transparent, which takes away from the image. I kind of disagree.
Well, he might be referring to the photograph. I don't know if that looks any better. I may have to get rid of the hair detail around there. But we want that eye to show up, so I know what we'll do. Ooh, I better make another copy of this.
Hi. Chris says, cut the pattern. We'll see what it looks like. So you see what it looks like right there.
Yeah, mister.
My God, when he puts it on wood, you'll see exactly what it looks like.
See, I cannot draw with a mouse worth of crap. It's supposed to be the side of the eyeball. It looks too angled. This is a version that would show that doesn't look right.
No, it don't.
It don't look right at all. So, oh no, wait. Please tell me I saved it earlier.
I think you did.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's chaotic as it looks. Yeah, I don't like this one without all the hair. It looks kind of weird. Strange. Yeah, but we have the. Okay, hopefully this will show up when what I'm pointing at. All this chaos right here is this transparency coming through. It's the left side of the left Hulk. I got rid of this because it looked too chaotic, but I kept this one where it's overlapping there. So
Mac thinks what is throwing everyone off so much is that there's way more transparency in the right two faces than there is in the left two. There's basically none in the left two.
yeah.
Josh says, stop pulling the mouse tail. That's my freaking dogs down there.
Okay, so we're gonna save both, and we'll do something very generic here, but y'all work with me here. This is just for giggles. I'm gonna make sure both of them are saved. This is gonna be a very generic way of doing this, but this will give us a clue of what it would look like with it being colored. It's not gonna be exact colors, but here we go. I'm just going to be really sloppy with this, so y'all bear with me. A bunch of red in there, but okay, we'll come back to that red. This is just for visuals. What am I doing here? Whoops. It's not what I meant to do. Okay, I just need to get it closer and make sure there's no breaks between the green and the white. This is very, very generic.
Yeah, Max says we like giggles on this channel, Charles.
Yes, sir.
Get a few every now and then.
Yeah. And we got to not forget the red part on the other one. So I should have been, oh, yeah, I should be doing this. Yeah, let me revert back to supposed to be doing this on the other one. Okay, so we're saving that one. And we're going to do the chaotic one. Hopefully, by paint, this again, just to give y'all a remote idea of what it would look like painted or stained. And this, I'm being rough with it. I'm not being exact. It should be a very generic way of putting it.
Awesome says, and if you don't quite like it after you buy the pattern, change it slightly to suit yourself.
Yeah.
I do if I want different.
Exactamundo. So, okay, let me make some more separations here.
Josh says it's not giggles, it's train wreck.
Well, whatever. A giggling train wreck.
Is it? I said that for you, Charles.
That's funny right there. Okay. Now, don't worry. We're not. Wait, no. Let's just be honest with ourselves. I gotta get this done. This gonna look like crap poop, but this is to show y'all what it would look like coloring the other half, and very generically, of course. But I gotta make sure everywhere that hair stuff is separated. What? Well, it's going to look like crap. Because that's green, but there's red over there. I need to separate that. That's what I was trying to do. It's not going to be exact because there's just too much going on. But I'm trying to imitate. Okay, I'm probably going to color everything in. There we go. Now,
I did not see where I could print one.
well, let's get the correct color red going
I
here.
have a little order.
Maybe a little lighter. This may look like total poop crap, but this is what we're dealing with. See, that doesn't look good. Y'all get the idea of what I'm trying to do, right? Show it. If we were to stain or color the wood, I don't like any version of that. If I'm being honest. Yeah, it looks like me trying not to cut crap act. Monkey poop. It looks like bull stank.
Anybody want to disagree?
Let me go ahead and make all the gray black. It might help. I don't think it will, but oh yeah, that looks like bull stank. Just saying. Wait, I didn't do over there. Yeah, I don't like that at all, but I'm not the only one here. Whoops. Whoa.
Your aim wasn't good there, Charles.
No, I have the tolerance up to way too high. It helped a little bit, but I still think the red is just bull stank. It doesn't look right.
Yeah, I really don't.
But I mean, if people like this version, by God, that gives you an idea how you can color it. But I mean, I know there's a little more red up here, but yeah, it looks like bull stank.
That's actually a little bit more red than what's in the original photo.
Well, I mean, there's different shades of red. We got the bright red and then a little bit darker red.
Okay.
But we can go with darker. I mean, for the sake of
Nah.
So yeah, if you want to color it, you can go that route. But I don't think I like it.
No, I would just, for me, my own purposes, I would take the one you did without all that.
Yeah, and I'll just sell both
morphing,
versions
and then-
because that was two people that liked it, so I will
Well-
do both versions.
I think it's fine, and especially if you come back and you paint the wood to green, that light
Yeah.
green, and then do black hair and white teeth, and you're good to go. Eyeballs.
Yeah, what do y'all think about the right eyebrow of the middle Hulk? I think it might need to be a little bit darker. I could probably get away with coloring it in. I'm afraid to ask what you're laughing at.
I'm not going to repeat Josh's comment because it was pertaining to what I said. Your aim was off,
Oh God.
and but it's funny. I got to give him that.
Are we content with that right eyebrow that you're looking at in the middle Hulk? I feel like it could be a little darker, if not completely colored in.
Well, in the photo, it's completely colored in, huh?
Well, in the photo, it's actually not. That's why I traced it the way I did. But
Okay, it's very little that doesn't look colored in.
yeah, so I need to color it in.
Yeah, I might leave one space in there, but I think from what I'm looking at, that it looks like it's almost completely dark.
Yeah.
But if you would have held it up close, then I might see it.
Yeah, you're right, because I am looking close when I trace them. So
Max says, Charles, I almost think that making a hard edge separation between the two sides right down the middle might make more sense for the pattern.
You mean like, well, I think I know what he means. Just like, let me color in this bull stank and we'll see. It may not look right even with that little gap.
That's kind of how I saw
I
that's how I see it, but it may not be that way, but that's how I see it on that picture.
I don't know if I like that gap in there. What do y'all think? I mean, I see it in there, but
You see it. I see it in the other one too. You got a little bit of light on it.
yeah, we'll keep that. Okay, now everybody, speaker forever, hold your peace because I'm about to save this one and without all the.
I like it like that.
Okay.
No, it's not, I don't. Anybody else is
Well, it's too late now. I done.
too late.
Yeah.
Lawrence is here. Hi, everybody. The magic of computers, boy. Look at there.
You awesome? Didn't have to redraw it 20 times.
Hello, Lawrence. Awesome, man. Perhaps if you cut it with two different colored woods joined down the middle.
I'd totally rather not, but that's an option for whoever buys it.
That's
But
somebody that wants to give it a shot, but I think it's fine like it is, truthfully.
Okay, now that's both versions, and somebody wanted to see it with it. Now, the person that wanted the hard thing down the middle, was that on the chaotic version or the cleaner version? Or maybe both.
Didn't say. Didn't say which one.
I'm going to make a copy of both just in case people.
That was Mac Pierce saying it.
Okay, selections, select none. Now we're going to try a hard transition down the middle of both. It's not true to the photograph, but it is an artistic option, so we'll do that. So there could be 4 versions of this puppy. Well, we had 8 versions of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to go right down here.
I have to wait for the chat to come back in.
Whoops, wrong color there, Sparky. I don't think, regardless of what we do, it's not going to be real pretty. But okay.
No, as what I see what you're doing, I really don't care for that.
I don't either, but just
for
people.
Well, I know, but what I'm thinking is the dark that's right there is the separation, and it's hard enough.
Yeah, but that's just taking people's feedback just to see what it would look like.
I got you. I
don't particularly like it, but I
don't.
Yeah, so we're not going to do either one.
I like the one on the left without that separation in it, and I like the one on the right just as it is. It looks even better now that you've colored in the eyebrow some. To me.
Right. Well, I'm glad.
What the comments were.
I'm glad a couple people like that chaos in the middle, because otherwise I wasn't going to save that.
Max said he was thinking of the one without the hair.
Huh? They all have hair. Oh, he means transition on the one without the chaotic down the middle. That's where I did that hard transition, and it looked funny.
Yeah, Max said no, it still doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so we have 2 versions. Really? Oh, yeah.
That one, the one you do with when you're showing the one on the right.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to hold it right there for a second, if somebody wants to take that center portion right there, where in the original photo it was kind of red, and instead of cutting that out, just get you a shade of red and maybe a little off red that you're comfortable with, and paint it.
Yeah, that's the experiment we did earlier with the
right. Yeah, because you don't have to fill the whole thing up with red paint. Just kind of make it similar to what the picture was. It wasn't completely filled in that area with red.
This is true. Yeah, if you want to take the time, I damn sure don't. It's not just cutting all the detail, by God.
Right. Yeah, that is something there that could be done. Yeah, Dennis said it does not look good with that hard
transition
separation. Yeah, hard transition. I didn't care for it either. I truthfully, I could go with either one of these if it was me.
Yeah, if it was me,
but
I'd go for the left. But if Dennis and Bill hadn't said they liked the chaotic version, I wouldn't have kept it. So I'm glad they said that.
Either one is really, really good enough. But for my own purposes, I like the one on the left.
Whoops. I didn't mean to.
I just like it better.
Me too.
Steve says he wants to play with this pattern.
Oh, man.
Tell him do it on your own time.
Start your own show. Now, the fact that it's so tall, we could go vertical with the wood grain, but they are horizontal. They're in landscape format. So,
Mhm.
for the sake of things, I'm going to go ahead. Wait, let me.
I think vertical probably the grain would look better if it was vertical, but it's probably too wide for that.
Not necessarily.
Well, depending on how wide you make that portion, that's how wide you got to have your piece of wood.
Yelzel.
Max says he honestly likes both of them, so I'm cool either way.
All right.
Steve said well, I was about to say what Steve said, but I lost the chat again.
Oh, poopy hack.
Yeah, I said, Steve said, bye-bye.
He said, I'm out of here.
Well, he didn't, but he said, I want to mirror the colors on the right side. That's what he was saying.
Green all the way across?
Hmm.
I guess that's what he's saying, because that's the only colors on the right side is green.
Yeah. Dennis says, can you show how it would look with wood? And I think that's what we're getting to.
Yeah, that's what we're getting to.
I'd like to ask a question of the chat. Those of you that are out there, how long have y'all actually been scrolling? In terms of years. This is just a question I want to know because I want to kind of judge myself based on where the rest of y'all are at. And I've been scrolling for about 5 years.
1997 is when I started, sir.
I got you. I remember yours.
There's are your wooden versions.
And folks, what do you think? Josh says he likes it, and I think it would really be cool with color. And Steve says no white face on the left and cut out the white on the right.
What? I wasn't paying attention. What? Say that again?
Steve said he was no white face on the left and cut out the white on the right. Cut out the white parts? No, I don't see
You
that.
out your damn mind.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see where he's going with that one.
Love you, Steve. I don't know what the hell you talking about, brother.
Okay, I was starting to get some answers to the question. Herb's been doing it about 6 years, so he and I probably right in the same range. Dennis, 3.5. Steve, an 82, but doesn't do it much. Josh, been scrolling since 2003, so that's a pretty good amount.
Wow.
And Lawrence is the same way, about 12 years ago.
Yes.
Dennis said it looks great, by the way.
Thank
with
you.
the wood, yeah. And the vertical
You know what?
goes with.
On all that cleaning up stuff, I forgot to clean out this. Because that's only showing on the overlap. I mean, it might have been okay, but I could probably get rid of it and be just as good. Didn't make a whole lot of difference, but I noticed it was red in the other photograph. In the photograph here, that's the part I just eliminated, was this right here.
I was talking to you and I was muted. Huh? I do that a lot, I guess. I have. Anyway, Awesome Man says, like me or not, I will always tell you what I think about a pattern, and that's the way it should be.
Absolutely. And now that I'm looking at that right one, if you know that it's the overlap, it's not as chaotic. Because if you focus only on the right Hulk and where he overlaps into the other one, it looks normal. But if you're looking at it just as a picture, it could look funny. But I can see the appeal of both of them.
Right. Mac is saying Steve is saying cut the light parts on the two left faces and cut the dark parts on the right faces.
I think that would look ultra weird, but to each his own.
John
but
said it looked awesome, and Steve says exactly, Mac. So the face changes color. Lawrence said it's better there. I just couldn't see what it looked like without seeing the wood version.
Yeah. I want to try something just for giggles.
Aussie says he would choose a natural two-colored piece of wood to cut this pattern on. You got a good green wood you want to use?
No, sir. I'm fresh out.
I'm fresh out too. I don't know what one would be green.
I'm just totally experimenting here based on what they just said.
Yeah.
This could look really weird.
Oh, so you're going to try to cut the dark on the right and the light on the left?
Yep.
Aye, aye, aye.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to look pretty dang
I'm
weird.
not seeing it, but
I'm
maybe
not
this
either,
is
but
time I don't.
I think this is what they're saying, so I'm trying to play with it and see what happens. I assume this is what Steve meant, and I know he probably didn't mean a harsh line, but just what I'm going with. That looks like poop shit. Oops.
Hey, wait a minute. Family friendly.
I done messed that up, didn't I? Whoops. No, I did it backwards. All the black should be wood grain. Dag blabbit.
Aussie said he's been scrolling for 15 years or so.
Yeah, I was supposed to make the black be wood grain. Whoops.
Steve's telling me poplar has green and white now. I don't do too much with poplar, but
It's pretty popular with some people. Here, see what I did there?
yeah, I know. I've noticed that. Charles, can you select a different color of wood in the computer?
No, I'm not good enough with hues and stuff. Yeah, I would. I'm not good at that. Otherwise, I would. But I think this is what Steve Nealon and somebody else was saying. And I don't like it at all, but I'm just doing it for giggles. Whoops.
I lost the chat again.
You need to
Aussie,
hold on
Aussie.
to it.
I know. I don't know. I'd be a permanent fixture at the Lost and Found, I guess. Aussie said he's been doing woodworking for 30 plus years, but scrolling for 15. And John Nave says, so I am the scroll virgin here then. How long you been doing it, John?
The scroll virgin?
Yeah, how long you been scrolling? You might not be. I might be.
Now, if I understood Steve Nealon correctly, then there would be a bunch of floaters on the right if they're talking about making it opposite of everything else.
I like it how you have it already.
Yeah,
I don't care for that at all.
I don't either. Well, relate.
My own purposes, I would just paint the wood.
Yeah.
Or stain it. I would stain it. Stain it would be a better choice, probably.
Now that I'm looking at it closer, I do think the right could appeal to some people.
Yeah.
Especially as far as keeping it true to the photograph. But
yeah, it can. Even though I still like the left better, the right does have promise.
Yeah. If you're focusing on the right Hulk, yes. But if you're looking at the middle one, that's probably why it looked chaotic to me, as I was looking at just the middle one.
Yeah.
So I can see.
Uh-oh. John told me, yeah, John, you are the virgin. I've been doing it 5 or 6 years, and Aussie says the one still growing is green silly.
Huh?
Lawrence says he started using straight blades for about something years. He's got T. Is that 10 years?
Or 3 or something. Or 2.
I have no idea. Dennis says, "Don't give up, Josh." Why is he telling him that? Because he said his real green poplar, or even a tin table stain.
So when I display both versions, I'm displaying the photograph with it so people understand that what we
Right.
had to work with.
Right. I don't know. The poplar that I've seen at my local big box store is not that green.
Yep.
So that would be the only place I would get poplar from. That's hence the reason I would have said to use a light green stain. I think would be outstanding on that. Oh, 5 years for straight blades, Lawrence said. Well, you're better than Charles. You got 5 years on. Charles only got one attempt.
Real quick. 20-10, San Francisco. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Dude, San Francisco might win.
Well, it was going to be one or the other.
Oh, yeah, Minwax has a tintable stain. Yep.
Okay, I got you now. Boy, you had me confused for a minute. Yeah, I've seen some of theirs, and haven't gotten it yet, but I've been intending on doing it. Picking up some of those stains. They have the little small cans that you can use. You don't have to have the big ones, at least in the lobes that I go to. In several different colors, but the stain on his face would have to be one of those kind of lime green colors instead of a darker green to be more truer to the photo.
Yeah.
I think it could be easily done. And it would look better with
Oh, look,
with
I'm
stain
being
than it would
review.
with paint.
They're always holding me for dang review.
Well, that's because you went a little unfamily friendly a while ago.
Well, one time. Oy, my God. Oh, sorry.
Hey, man, what's wrong with that picture on the left?
That's my camera's back behind my monitor.
Ah, that picture on the right has got one devilishly good-looking fella.
Oh, that's the Hulk.
Not in my photo, it ain't.
I don't mean to cut off so quick, but that pain is getting pretty bad, and I don't want to groan the whole time I'm here.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming. We enjoyed it.
I appreciate
Yeah,
everybody.
We learned something.
So both versions will be available on woodenvisions.com. Appreciate you watching. You want to say the magic words and the magic gesture?